This is my quick take on gatekeepers. It's no secret that most hobby communities have some form of gatekeeper. So I'm not saying anything that most intelligent people don't already know in some capacity. But people who collect fragrances, we have a unique type of gatekeeper. One that focuses on particular facets of the perfume itself or the experience of using the perfume and ignores everything else. So it's not like there's necessarily a wide rubric of judgment for what is good and what's not good. The gatekeepers in the online fragrance community pick one or two things very specifically and make every fragrance they own about that specific thing. And anything that doesn't satisfy that specific criteria is unperfume, basically. The biggest groups are going to focus on either materials or vintage. And usually the vintage guys have a cutoff. Nothing made after 19X or 20X, which if you think about it is really silly because time marches on and things that weren't vintage maybe in the early 2000s are vintage now because they're over 20 years old. And when you go before that into the 20th century, so anything made after 19XX can't ever be considered vintage. So your 1995 fragrance from 30 years ago will never be vintage because that's like the point when all fragrance manufacture ceased to matter or something stupid like that. And then the other one is, of course, materials. Oh, it has to have so much this or that, oak moss or sandalwood. It has to be natural or at least perceived to be natural. So that typically means only certain genres get to be part of the conversation. Fougères, Chypres, anything that's really heavy with oak moss or other very noticeable natural materials like lavender and rose. If it's anything more abstract or more blended, then it's not allowed in the conversation. And then last but not least, you have the guys who go on price. They're not as common as they used to be 10 or 15 years ago because everyone now is suffering from the state of the current global economy. So the guys who 10 years ago said if it was under $200, it doesn't matter. Those guys now are hunting for bargains the same way the rest of us are. So the price wankers, as I used to call them, the price wankers are kind of going away because anyone who honestly thinks that something has to be over a certain dollar amount to be considered valid is probably not someone who's going to mix and mingle with the commoners online anyway. They have handlers and agents to do that for them, right?